Today's consumer confidence report shows a slight pullback in September, with Americans feeling a bit less positive about the job market and current business conditions. But there's a silver lining. Optimism about future income is holding strong, spending has remained resilient, and the housing market is stabilizing. Joining us now to break it down what this all means for you, the economy, is Dale Smothers, President and CEO of RDS Wealth Management. Dale, good to have you back. So what do you see as the driving factor behind the dip in consumer confidence?
Hey, Alicia, it's good to be here. The consumer confidence took a little bit of a step back simply for uncertainty, and there's a lot to be uncertain about. But if we had to pinpoint one particular issue that's fully in the scope, it's the labor market, jobs. Can we continue to find the jobs that we desire as consumers to be able to spend the money that we hope to be able to spend and support our lifestyle? The jobs market has begun to soften just a little bit, and I think it could just be a little bit of groupthink maybe even baked into this particular number that we're seeing come from the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report.
And groupthink is a good point. So it's not only the job market, but inflation remains a concern as well. But real
Absolutely.
wages, housing markets showing signs of stabilizing. How do these trends balance out for the average consumer?
And I'll expand just a little bit on that groupthink ideology there. I think that the news media has a way to maybe push an agenda. And what we have seen is, the Fed comes out and talks about potential rising inflation, but still cutting rates. And then we see the rates cut, but we don't see mortgage rates fall immediately. And then we've got labor market being the front headline saying that the labor market is softening. So these people are doing their best to perhaps put a little bit of a pessimistic view in the watcher if you're watching the wrong stations. And for that reason, thinking about what the consumer sentiment actually measures, it's 600, Alicia, 600 families in America. They surveyed these 600 families. They get a little bit of an understanding of where they think they are now versus where they were a year ago and where they think they're going to be a year from now. And those 600 families then essentially are the gauge for the entire country. Mm-hmm. So be careful not to get into the groupthink because, as you said, there is pent-up optimism in this economy, namely in where we think our wages are going to be a year from now.
That's right. And you mentioned the Fed recently cut rates. Job growth is slowing down, though, but a potential government shutdown is also looming. What might we expect with all of this in the months ahead?
Yeah, this government shutdown is certainly a wrinkle that no one wants to see. And if we see the government shut down in midnight tonight, I think that we're going to see a little bit of pullback in the stock market. Now, at the end of the day, it's a tale of two economies. What we're talking about here with consumer sentiment sometimes is a leading indicator for what the stock market will do. But the stock market has been higher on the backs of artificial intelligence and institutional spending. If we can see the consumer continue to spend into the holiday season, we continue to see artificial intelligence infrastructure build out, I think the stock market goes higher. And Alicia, I think the U.S. economy at the end of this year is running hotter than it's ran in a long time, especially leading into a potential new Fed chair appointment come May, which could be everything that we need to start getting this back to a closer to neutral rate for the American consumer, perhaps making things a little bit cheaper. If you heard Donald Trump today, he talked about farmers perhaps making a lot of money in the future, and it's all because of the way farming is set up, where loans are a big portion of that. And as interest rates fall, we could see the entire economy begin to prosper.
Yeah, he has come out obviously in huge support of our farmers. He's going to take care of them despite the bumps along the way. Dale Smothers, great insight as always, President and CEO of RDS Wealth Management. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Alicia.
You got it.